Hey guys, Remy here. I just wanted to talk about Astrologian and some of the changes that will be coming with the job in 5.0. So some of the big changes are going to be talked about later, but for now, let's just jump into the big RIP for time dilation. No more time extending effects for Astrologian. And I'm going to be quite honest, I don't know how I feel about it. Actually, I kind of do. I'm sad about it. I was hoping they would enhance the time abilities, but instead they're taking them away, so that kind of sucks. Next up, we're going to talk a little tiny bit about the sect changes. Not much is really happening here. They've taken away the enmity reducing effects, which is inconsequential because tanks are going to be generating enmity like crazy anyway. But they also took away the healing up effects, so our GCD healing is honestly pretty nerfed at that point, so it's unfortunate. The next big change that I think all Astrologians around the world are going to love, gravity is now at level 45, which is absolutely amazing. I'm super happy about that. It really sucked taking Astrologian into sub 50 content just because we didn't have that spammable AoE spell. The potency is 130, but there's no fall off. Overall, though, that's a good thing. Like, I have no problems with this at all. I'm here for that. Next up, changes to draw. So instead of just drawing a card and then immediately using it, you draw it. Draw goes on cooldown, and you have another ability called play. And when you execute play on a target, the card that you drew is now on that target. So it's basically a quality of life change. Yeah, there's an extra button on your hotbar, but I can live with that if it means I'm not accidentally putting buffs on myself or somebody else that I didn't mean to. So I'll take it. And then the changes to redraw, it's now utilizing the charge effects that they talked about in the live letter. So, it's reducing the RNG on draw pretty much on what cards you have. 3 charges is quite a bit, and it's at level 40. So we can have more access to more cards quicker in succession with those charges, so I'm here for it. Next are the changes to the cards themselves, which, wow. They've really simplified this, and I don't know how I feel about this either, because on one hand, yes, Astrologian was kind of about just fishing for balance. At least all the good Astrologians out there were kind of fishing for balance. If you didn't get balance, you kind of just took the consolation prize of arrow or spear and lived with it. But I don't know, making all the cards just buff damage overall, it's kind of lame. And then trying to add this faux complexity to it by making it so like, oh, is it a ranged DPS or is it a melee DPS? Like, I don't know, it just seems so fake to me. The only good thing to come out of this, I think, is just the fact that across the board, sure, everybody's just going to be doing damage and you're not fishing for balance anymore, but the uniqueness of the job, I think, has been diminished just a bit by oversimplifying these cards this much. But they each also have a new effect that ties into your job gauge, which is the seals. So Arrow and Ur give a lunar seal, Spear and Spire give a celestial seal, and Balance and Bowl give a solar seal. And when you get all 3 seals, you get to use a big heal. Or not a big heal, but a big buff. An AoE balance kind of thing. And I'll talk about that in a second. But overall, it is what it is. The 15-second duration really sucks, especially considering it used to be 30. Like, it's just... I'm not here for this one. I'm really not here for that. But I am here for this change to Minor Arcana, because we now get it at level 50. I definitely can see a trend here where they're trying to make Astrologian more active with its cards at level 50, because Minor Arcana, I don't think we got that until like level 60 something, like 64 I think, maybe even 66, shit, I don't remember. But at level 50, that's a pretty big change. Astrologian's going to be kind of a busy job at level 50 now, especially with having gravity and now Minor Arcana and the seals. With Minor Arcana, the recast time is 1 second, which is nice. Basically just letting us Minor Arcana whenever we really want, as long as we have a card. The changes, it's basically just a better version of whatever card you just drew. So if you don't need the seals at the moment, go ahead and use Minor Arcana. If you don't have the right party member in your party, use Minor Arcana. Why not? And I like that we can use it on ourselves. Like, that's a really good change. That's going to boost our personal DPS in solo play, so I'm here for that. The next big change is for Divination. That is a new ability, also at level 50. And this is the AoE balance that I was talking about. So once you get 3 seals in your gauge, or at least 3 different seals in your gauge, you can cast Divination. And it basically is an AoE balance, a tiny bit better AoE balance. It's adding a bit more consistency to the RNG again for Astrologian, and it's also making it a bit more busier at level 50. But I don't really understand why they chose 3 seals to be the big thing, especially considering the fact that, with 2 seals, it's halved. And with no different seals, it's still half, like, it definitely should have been like 2-4-6 instead of 3-3-6. If you ask me, that would have made a lot more sense. But at the end of the day, extra damage is extra damage. Who can really complain about it? I can live with this skill or this ability. It's not going to be horrible. It's adding some complexity to the job. The next big change is this change to Celestial Opposition. Yeah, I'm going to miss that stun, y'all. I'm not going to lie. I'm really going to miss that stun, because that was our only stun that we had, and now we don't have any stun. Instead, we have a off-global AoE cooldown. It's our first AoE cooldown at level 60, though, so... Or wait, no, it's not, because we still have Collective Unconscious doesn't really count. That has a whole different purpose. So yeah, I guess Celestial Opposition is our first AoE off-global cooldown. It's kind of like, I don't know, I can't really put that or compare that to any other skill in the game, really. It's actually, no, that used to be Astrologian's old PvP skill. I'm pretty sure Celestial Opposition used to be something Astrologians could use in PvP, and it operated exactly like this. Maybe without the additional effects, but I'm pretty sure it was this. So giving that to us here seems... it's fine. The potency is pretty weak, but it is what it is. Now, Celestial Intersection, that is a really good skill. That is fucking wild in my eyes. And it's not even the potencies. The potencies look bad. 100 potency, like what? A shield for 30 seconds, a pretty good shield for 30 seconds, or a regen for 10 seconds at 80. It doesn't sound good, but then you look at that recast time. Every 30 seconds? Why in the world does Astrologian need all of these AoE off the global cooldown heals? Like, what kind of damage is going to be going out that warrants all of these OGCDs is my question, because it seems like overkill at this point. And here we have yet another one. So Horoscope, you use this ability, and when you use it, the nearby party members get this a buff Horoscope. And then if you cast Helios or Respected Helios, that Horoscope buff gets upgraded to Horoscope Helios. And then you get to you use Horoscope again, and all those party members with Horoscope Helios buff on them get an additional heal. So think of it as like maybe White Mage's Plenary Indulgence, or I think Scholar's Emergency Tactics, almost kind of like that as well. Like, think of those two things combined, and it's this. And for every 60 seconds, like, that's 3 AoE OGCDs right there. And we still have Earthly Star and Collective Unconscious. This is way too much healing going on. And then on top of that, another trait that gives us an extra charge to Essential Dignity. So now we can use Essential Dignity twice in a row. Why? Why in the world does Astrologian need all of this healing? especially when our DPS has been nerfed to, I'm not going to say to the ground, but it's been nerfed quite a bit. And then finally, neutral sect, our ultimate ability. It's basically largesse in both sects combined. It's a good ability, especially at 120 seconds. I mean, I'll take it. I don't know if it's going to mesh well with scholars, only because of that nocturnal sect benefit. Like, a scholar's not really going to appreciate that. I did hear that scholars' normal shields aren't really going to be as good anymore. I know their crit shields are going to be nice, but I don't know if their normal shields are going to be as good as Astrologians, but we'll find out, I guess. 20-second duration is nice as well. I honestly didn't think it would be that long. But that's all the new skills and abilities and some of the changes that have come to Astrologian, y'all. And on one hand, I'm excited about it because it looks like the card play is going to be a lot more fast-paced, even though it's going to be simplified to hell. But there's just so much healing. Like, there's so many healing options, and I feel like it's too many healing options. And their cooldowns aren't really that long. Like 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 2 minutes. Like, those aren't long. Not to mention, we still have Earthly Star. We still have Collective Unconscious. We still have Sinistry. We still have Light Speed. All of these heals, and what are we going to be using them for? Because right now, there's nothing really in the game that warrants all of that healing. I mean, maybe at level 80, things will be different. I don't know. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below, because I really just want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Maybe I'm going crazy. Maybe I'm overthinking this too much. But that's all I got to say on the matter for now. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share if you want. Just be easy. Don't give up on the heart of the cards. Take care.